there really is almost no joy in this movie. Joy is the latest film from writer-director David O. Russell and stars Jennifer Lawrence, Robert De Niro, and Bradley Cooper. It is loosely based on the life of Joy Mangano, who is an incredibly strong, perseverant, and independent woman who is very, very overwhelmed by a largely dependent family. Her mother, father, ex-husband, 2 children, and grandma who all live with her, and her half-sister and her father's latest love interest, who are also very much involved in her life. Joy grew up with a lot of encouragement from her grandma that she would become this great matriarch of their family, and that she would be very, very successful. This was because of her many creative inventions that she came up with as a child. But through all the hardships created by her family, she has now lost sight of all this, and she comes to a realization that she must once again seize this inspiration that guided her through her youth in order to escape the life she is now living. So I'm a big David O. Russell fan ever since The Fighter. I've equally enjoyed Silver Linings Playbook and American Hustle. I believe that all 3 of those films are incredible movies, and they all many major awards, and deservedly so, because David O. Russell has an incredible ability as a writer and as a director for witty dialogue and comedic scenes, as well as really heartfelt and engaging dialogue in his dramatic scenes. As many of his movies seem to have comedic and dramatic elements in them, and this one is no different. But he has always done this through characters who are very likable and easily invested in by the audience. In this movie, that's not the case. The film is certainly well acted, but really, other than Joy, Neil, who is played by Bradley Cooper, and Joy's best friend and her young daughter, there really isn't another character with any redeemable qualities. Which is why I think critics and audiences seem to be so disappointed with this film. Because she's got a very large family, are all very negative. But even though this is something that many critics and audiences are listing right now, I do not think that this necessarily makes it a bad film. Jennifer Lawrence's performance certainly propels the film along. What the hell did I write?
Hey, moron! Hey, moron!
Oh, but the somewhat, at least at times for me, uninteresting source material is made better through David O. Russell's direction. He tends to keep focus on the characters' faces with close-ups, which he's done in a lot of his films, in order to capture the many emotions, as well as providing the viewer with very fast-paced scenes, a fast-paced film where Joy is bombarded by all these unfortunate disasters in her life and incredibly negative and nagging family members, to the point where I felt stressed out as an audience member watching this happen on screen. And I believe he does this intentionally in order to make the audience feel like the character they're watching on screen. The viewers provide with an experience while they're watching this movie that is similar to that of Joy's. But he also does this to keep a very fast pace for the movie, because personally, like I said, I don't really find the source material to be that interesting. But I believe that the source material is made much more exciting and interesting and engaging as a film through yet another stellar performance by Jennifer Lawrence, and once again in a David O. Russell film. Please, David O. Russell, keep making movies with Jennifer Lawrence. There's something about your direction and screenplay and her in a lead role that just seems to come together with magic. I mean, seriously. And including Bradley Cooper in a lead male role, because those two have probably some of the best on-screen chemistry of any male-female duo in this 21st century that I've seen. So at times, even though I felt kind of overwhelmed by some of the negativity in this film from her family and the other characters and the underwhelming story, I believe that the film does soar through David O. Russell's direction as well as Jennifer Lawrence's performance. And like I said, I don't believe it's nearly as great as his last 3 movies. I am still going to award this film a 7 out of 10. I do recommend it. I recommend going to see this movie, especially if you're a Jennifer Lawrence fan. Bradley Cooper, Robert De Niro, David O. Russell. I mean, those 4 have kind of been all together as of recently in the last 5 years in movies, so
if you like those guys,
go see it. And one more thing I want to add. Critics I thought her name within the film was kind of intended to be ironic. Obviously, it's based on a real-life woman. In the film, you kind of expect someone to be named Joy, and a title of a film to be named Joy after the lead character, to maybe have some joyfulness. You don't really expect so much negativity, and she has to work her ass off in order to find joy in her life. And it kind of reminds me of the film The Pursuit of Happiness, where the pursuit part is vital to the happiness. That's the same case here. And I liked that aspect of the film. Anyway, guys, I'm really pumped to go see The Revenant tomorrow night. The only other movies I was more excited to see this year was The Hateful Eight and Star Wars The Force Awakens. I love both films, and now I finally get to go see The Revenant, which came out back during Christmas in a limited release, but is just now finally coming to my area. And I'm very excited to go see this movie and to review it tomorrow night. So I should have that up maybe late tomorrow night. Please subscribe, and I will see you soon. Until next time, Vince, the film nerd, Joy, David O. Russell, Jennifer Lawrence, movies for life.